Silva Saarinen has shown us in the first 3 events of the year that she usually saves her best round for the final round, but none of those rounds have been on lead card. We did see her in a playoff with Kristin Lätt last year, both of them going stroke for stroke until the final hole. So I'm very excited to see what happens tomorrow. Silva's game is looking so well-rounded. She has it all, even without a distance forehand, and she's still making this course look easy.
One thing Ella Hansen has, even more than the other competitors on the lead card, is just a gigantic forehand. She has so much control, so much power. She can shape so many different angles with the forehand, which is going to shape up really well at Mill Ridge. At 5 back of the lead, it's going to be tough for Ella to catch both Silva and Kristin, who are playing lights out. Ella shot bogey-free 8 down in round 2, and she's still 5 strokes back. It'll be interesting to see how far Ella Hansen can climb on Championship Sunday, particularly in the rough conditions we're going to see.
I think Missy's used to not necessarily being the person throwing the farthest on the tee, but she is used to being the person that's always in the middle and making all of her putts. We are supposed to have some tough conditions tomorrow, and I think if Missy can hold it together, everyone's going to have to take some off in order to do well tomorrow and keep it in the middle, and that's what Missy's really good at.
Kristin Lätt really lighting up the back 9, getting 7 in a row to end things, some big putts, some amazing drives. You can tell she really wants it. She's focused. She has won this event twice already, looking for the three-peat. Kristin is averaging 10-20 golf, as is Silva, and you have to shoot well over 1,000 rated golf to podium, let alone win this tournament. So in the conditions, it's going to be tough to stay focused and to throw those high-level shots over and over again. I think Kristin has the advantage going into the final day here. She's won it before. She's looking confident. Silva, though, right there on her heels. It's going to be a battle worth watching.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2025 MVP Music City Open presented by Another Round Disc Golf. It's Championship Sunday.
It is.
And I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're your two hot geeks. But yeah, a lot of rain out there. Just a lot of flood warnings, a lot of crazy weather, a lot of squelching, even more than we've seen so far. They did a 50% cut on a 3-day weekend, which I think is unprecedented, and got some of the MPO to finish. So kind of a crazy day. We're honestly lucky to be out there at all, and thanks again to the operations team for doing what they can, and the on-site tournament staff for getting us out there.
Yeah, it is super impressive, the shape that they've put this course in with the conditions that we've had for the past week straight. Let's get it started on hole 1. Had a little puddle around the tee pad today, but a fun little shot. It's 280 feet, plays more like 330-ish with the uphill nature at the green, the fairy green as we like to call it affectionately. A straight shot works great with just the tiniest bit of hyzer at the end. These rocks do cause a little bit of dynamic reactions sometimes as you come in with a driver. You just want to make sure not to miss really early or really late.
We know historically Kristin plays so well when she is in the lead or has a share of the lead. And did you see all those stats? They're nearly full.
Everything's above 90 almost.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Gonna be
across the board.
Yeah. It's going to be early and short. Silva well in the hunt, looking confident. We're starting to see her more and more on lead cards, and we had that playoff last year, as you said, in Green Mountain, and I think it's going to be a really exciting battle all day.
So impressive that Silva is tied right now with Kristin's stats looking the way they did, and I think that's largely due in part that Silva just doesn't throw out of bounds, ever.
And makes a lot of circle 2 putts.
Yep.
Missy Gannon keeping it in the fairway. Usually see those C1X putting stats a little bit higher. She had a clean round yesterday to stay in solo 3rd. I'm sure she's looking for more birdies.
And she is set up for a birdie with that drive. Let's see if Ella can protrude into that gap a little bit more.
A nice straight floaty shot, but fading just a little early. Her and Silva both going to sneak in to that corner of the green where I think they'll have a look. Kristin, I think she's going to be pretty blocked here. She's going at a completely different angle, and that's well managed. Missy, I think, made this exact same putt yesterday. Like within a foot or two of there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or, was that yesterday? What time? What's time? Hold on. Help me.
Everything blends together a little bit.
I know she can make this. Wait, was that?
Okay. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Just a wee bit low. Let's see if Ella can capitalize from this short left side of the green.
A lot of trees in the way on this short left side. Oh, that looked good.
Oh, my good. Did that hit the bottom of the basket?
Yeah, it would splash around for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see if Silva can take one immediately from a bit closer. Oh, airball.
Whoa.
Surprising.
Oh, kind of a funny miss from Silva as well.
Yeah, well, probably a bit nervous out there to win. And a good par save from Kristin to start things off. I don't know about you, but after completing this hole, I like to stand by myself on the fairy green in hopes that I'm transported to a slightly different dimension full of much more magic.
As opposed to squelching the rest of the day.
Yeah. And everyone going to take...
Maybe that's what I was doing wrong out here this weekend.
Yeah, it's...
not doing enough of that.
I don't know. You tend to open your eyes a little disappointed, but... Round of pars here on hole 1.
Only 6 birdies on that hole today. We didn't mention, I don't know, but we have a 50% cut in the FPO field. This is only the top 50 competitors of the 49 out there. I believe we went with 25 today, so the stats will only be for those top competitors.
Hole 2, a par 4. Got to shoot out the gap on this 530-foot hole. Definitely plays a little farther. Look how uphill this first tee shot is. You need a big booming turnover or a very powerful sidearm. There's OB on the left side if you fade out with the backhand. Second shot, this basket is tucked behind a wall of trees. You can see there's a lot of danger in there, and there actually is an out-of-bounds little pond. We haven't seen it come into play, but you can with a really errant shot or perhaps a bad roll away off those rocks. You need a huge power sidearm on the second or a very technical backhand.
We see a lot of the distant sidearm throwers going sidearm here.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, taking that left side OB completely out of play.
I'd say there's maybe 5 competitors out there that can go sidearm
Yep.
at that distance. And again, it's the uphill nature, not just the 530 that makes it so hard. Oh, this is good.
So good so far. Silva really flexing on that effortless distance. We've watched it all weekend.
That's the best we've seen her throw this particular tee shot, though. She's been ending a little more left, closer to the OB line. Missy. Pretty typical shot here. A little bit shorter than Silva. It's going to take a huge second shot to get a putt.
And look at the footing that she's dealing with. Lots of mud. I think we got close to 6 inches of rain last night. Is that right? In the area? It was a lot.
Yeah. Many, many inches.
With a course that was already struggling with drainage issues from a week full of rain.
Missy, going to end up around the edge of circle 2, which is pretty typical here on hole 2.
Yeah, a little bit of an undercommitted shot. You can see her trying not to use her legs and slip around.
Yeah.
A lot of arm shots we'll see today.
I want to see an embrace in like a slip and slide method. Like maybe slide into the shot. Oh, that's a nice committed shot from Kristin, but not quite enough turn to get all the way there. She'll have a long look though. Silva, really the only one on our lead card this comfortable with such a distant standstill shot.
And look at that.
Wow.
Sneaks through the right corner a little bit, but what a great shot. Had the full distance to get there regardless of if it hit anything.
Definitely messing around with that pond, which is flooding, it looks like, unsurprisingly. Can we talk about how Ella Hansen's hair is the perfect length right now? Just curling around her hat beautifully.
It is perfect. And look, talk about it perfect again, this forehand.
Uh-huh.
One of the few players in the field that can give that a run from that distance.
Missy Gannon from outside circle 2. A nice downhill putt, which I like.
Oh, don't forget, we got new hats. We forgot to show you guys at the beginning, but we got new Two Hot Geese hats. If you haven't seen them in rounds 1 and 2, they say Two Hot Geese on the front. We got little geese on the side.
Very cute geese on the side.
We've been waiting for them for years, so if you've been waiting as well, go pick one up. We got 3 colors.
And all sorts of other merch too. JomezPro.com/shop.
That stuff's cool too.
Kristin over the top on her birdie bid. Let's see if Ella can get one here. She needs every stroke she can get. Oh, yeah. Okay.
16% of the field birdieing this one. Ella, one of those 4 birdies today out of 25 competitors. This hole always plays a little bit hard, but even with only 4 birdies, it puts it in the middle of the pack. That says a lot about conditions.
Oh, it's 2 of our 4 birdies, and Silva taking the lead pretty immediately.
Yeah, it shows a lot about Silva's skill level as well.
Her standstill effectiveness, I suppose, is going to be, I think, one of the best weapons out here because of the conditions.
Yep. She's accurate and super powerful.
She also just believes in her own power.
That is so important.
Mm-hmm.
We always forget that in the trifecta. Accuracy, power, and belief.
Yes.
Holland Hanley currently 3 down, 3-4. Katrina Allen matching. Here we are at hole 3. This uphill shot is, I would say, right around 280 feet, but it plays longer than that to get through this gap because of how steeply uphill it is. Also, you can't quite tell what the wind is doing up in that gap, so you can't really prepare your disc necessarily from the tee pad. It's a little bit of a guessing game. If you make it through the gap, it's a pretty straightforward approach with 2 narrower gaps that you have to make through and some rough deep. If you don't make it through that gap and you have to scramble, you're pretty much settling for a par.
Silva piping this gap, making that power look easy. Wow, that's such a good tee shot.
That's so good.
Let's see what she threw there, actually.
And it's fine to hyzer off like that once you make it through the gap. It sets up for a nice little hyzer angle on your second shot.
I believe that's her fission photon. Ooh, Ella with the layup. I wouldn't have guessed this.
Me neither. She must have learned what this gap is capable of.
The hard way. And she can still birdie from there. That was a really nice layup.
Also, I like that move from Ella because we've learned that to shooting even par is good enough for, like, I think top 8 right now. So in the conditions the way they are today, Ella knows if she can just squeeze out some pars and not make bogeys, like, that's going to be great.
That's true unless she's, like, really gunning for the win, which I'd imagine.
Yeah, but this is not
be.
the hole she's choosing to gun on.
Yeah, you're right. She can gun wherever she wants.
Yeah, she'll draw the guns eventually.
Yeah.
We know she
They're
will.
holstered at the moment. Ella giving this a lot of power. I think she's going to be pinned up on that. Right, she's going around it. Wow, okay. I've never seen that before, and that's super cool.
You think that was on purpose?
I
could not
hope so.
That's so far out of my game plan that I cannot speculate, but it worked great.
My best guess is she just gave it enough power to get there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And it works out. Ooh, Missy in the spot everybody hates.
Yeah, and it's looking especially soupy today.
Just hard to get enough power to get there, but Missy managing it really nicely. Oh, come on, get out of there.
I feel like the little Missy bun just gave her so much more power. She's just a little bit deep of the gap you're hoping to hit to get to the green.
She's definitely, like, laced up.
Yeah.
You know, looking like she could lead a board meeting.
The centrifugal forces. High.
Ooh. Okay.
Silva I think she has been in this rough every single round.
But on the edge of it with a putt.
Yep.
6 more inches deep and you could be left with nothing.
Impressive that she's hitting that gap every round as well.
Kristin getting farther and farther off the tee with every single round. That's amazing. And really successful both yesterday and today with the forehand upshot after an errant backhand upshot on the first day. This is impressive flexibility from Missy.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's trying to make this.
She is. There's no other reason to be in that position. What an effort.
And sits down nicely. Let's see if Ella can make this hole longer than everyone else playing the hole.
Very unconventional birdie attempt. Leaves it wide right.
Silva from the edge of the rough, forced to take a knee with a little bit of a low ceiling. What branch?
And to maintain that one-stroke lead she's created, she's going to have to guard that with her life.
Missy having to work for this par right now.
Yeah. It's going to be... I wonder how many towels on average each competitor had in their bag.
I wonder how wet her pants are right now. Because those leaves are saturated.
Nice par.
Kristin and Silva, 2 of 6 birdies today, a quarter of the field getting it.
Ella taking her time on the tester here, or rather the comebacker. Ooh, and she looked nervous. Little high, little left. Ooh, that hurts.
Man, that one could have stayed.
Yeah.
It could have.
It could. It wasn't.
It was high.
It wasn't a great putt.
And not the way you want to start your round out. Let's hope she can shake that off as we move into the front 9.
Yeah, everyone hates a birdie.
Mm-hmm. Silva taking the solo lead right now, 1 stroke over Kristin with that second birdie in her round.
Hole 4 is a par 4, 675 feet. Tricky tee shot. We got the OB line on the left. We got the peanut OB line on the right. Looks just like a peanut. Look at it. You want to get as far off the tee as you can. I like a forehand. The backhand can be tricky depending on the wind, and that left side OB line comes into play. If you land in a good enough spot with a fairly risky tee shot, the second shot is less difficult, but there's a couple of groupings of trees that really block most shots, and enough out of bounds where you really have to think about your speed and angle and just width of your shot. There's a whole lot to think about.
Silva trying to turn something and getting a little bit too aggressive on the angle. The cut roller thankfully lays down in the middle, but she's going to have a lot of work left to do if she's trying to get to the green for a birdie.
Go ahead.
Kristin with the forehand, and this is a much safer shot and much more ideal shot shape if you are trying to attack on this hole.
Absolutely. You can get a little bit farther with the backhand, but it doesn't really do you that much good with how much risk it brings into play.
Totally.
Missy maybe going to be pushing that left side OB line with this one.
I like the play, a little bit of a slower disc and kind of floating it up, but she sure is flirting with that OB left.
Just a little. You're right, though. That was a Z-swirl undertaker, so slower fairway than her normal thrasher play. So smart. And Ella with the forehand, horizon glow, cloud breaker to an ideal spot.
This hole played as the most difficult hole for the 3rd day in a row.
Wow.
I know. But it doesn't look like the wind was doing much, so it's just a hard hole. It doesn't matter what the wind does.
Yeah, I think
it's just hard.
It's just hard. I think, no, Missy. Trickles out of bounds.
And the heat map is just fiery red over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wind down a little bit today, which I'm sure is so nice when you're dealing with the super wet ground conditions.
Silva maybe looking like she held on to that one a little long. Let's see if it can swing in.
Oh, wow. Splashdown.
And she's putting.
Yeah. What's that zone at the aquarium where you can get wet? Like the splash zone?
Splash zone?
Yeah.
The touch tank?
Oh, that's not what I'm thinking of. It's a different thing. Kristin with a really great shot to circle's edge. Oh, Ella, forehand. I have not seen this play, It makes sense to take the trees out of play, but she's going to be carrying the out of bounds essentially the entire time. So if she pulls this too straight, it will not come back in bounds.
Uh-oh.
That's a little sawed off.
But thankfully with enough spike angle. Oh, and perfectly catches that tree.
It's funny, I said it takes the trees out of play, Ella.
She must have not heard you.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll say it louder next time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the error there is to make sure you fade in rather than hold it straight, as I also said. So I was still right.
So she heard part of what you said.
Yeah. Just listen better. Ella just inside circle 2. Just going to lay it up.
It's a smart play here.
Yeah, especially after a couple of missed putts.
And this is not the hole that you necessarily need to take big risks to get strokes on. There were only 2 birdies today. Let's see if Kristin can be one of them.
Band high. Solid looking putt. Centered nicely. Silva to take another stroke. Ooh, low right. Not quite the golf we saw yesterday, but Championship Sunday will do that.
Shout out to Haley King and Holland Hanley for getting the 3 on this very difficult par 4.
Missy going to take the bogey. No green on the scorecard yet. The next hole is a good opportunity to birdie, though. Although, yeah, it's hard to say. We're still seeing a lot of birdies from Silva and some from Kristin. You know, but you're right. Even par is probably going to be a fantastic score, just not what you want to win. I wish we could have had one day, no wind and dry ground, just to have kind of like a baseline.
A gauge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because it's all guessing. I feel like people could shred this course.
I think they could.
Mm-hmm.
Will they?
And I mean, honestly, Silva and Kristin still are shredding.
Yeah, I mean, Kristin shot 11 down yesterday.
Look at Holland, 4 down through 7, doing some work from chase card herself.
Wow.
Here is a nice downhill par 3, 315 feet, plays more like 260-ish, but the low ceiling on the right side with the backhand, what I like is a little bit more difficult to access because of those branches. This left side, I'm on the wrong hole. We're back on hole 5.
Here we go.
The right side is a really difficult gap to hit. We've seen Silva do it every round, but not many players do. You see most players doing a backhand turnover or a forehand up the left side. There's a lot more room out there and no OB to worry about.
Yeah, mostly you see sidearms here.
The 2 downhill holes look exactly the same. Yep.
Sorry, I could have stopped you.
Nope. Just let me jabber away. And here's Silva doing what almost no one does. And doing it really well.
Really well every day.
Wow. That's the best so far.
That's money. Yeah, yesterday's was pulled a little right. That was her hex, neutron hex.
So good.
Here's the more typical play. Swinging it out wide.
Kristin doing this really well herself.
That looks fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and sit down now.
And everyone.
Good girl.
Yeah, just showing us how they got to where they are today.
Perfect angle on this forehand, obviously, with this result. Love the big gallery still out on a soggy Sunday.
Everyone put their mud boots on. Ella with a nice correction from this shot yesterday. Oh, just a little bit on the short side, but still putting for birdie.
Yeah, it looks like great power. Let's see, it's her Horizon Cloudbreaker, and it must be a beefcake because she threw that hard and it faded even harder.
Missy pulling out her sidearm here, having to flex it to get the distance. Not quite getting the carry to the right at the end, but putting from circle 2 in Missy range. But sadly, that left side of the green is pretty brutal. She's going to try to step putt here, but it is absolutely slippery and boggy over there.
Did you hear the sounds of her feet?
Yeah.
If anyone likes a muddy ASMR, this is a good round to watch.
Yeah.
Ella from nearly 50, little straddle putt. What an effort. What an effort from Ella.
Love to see Ella giving it a good chance here from circle 2. Silva, what a birdie down the right gap.
Just making that look so simple. Like, why don't we all do that, you know?
No, legitimately, I'm questioning my decision to force a forehand.
Throw it one more time and you'll remember.
Legitimately. Get one kick to the right. Kristin and Silva continuing to pull ahead of their card mates as everyone tiptoes off the screen.
Yeah, quite a separation very quickly in the round. And Silva maintaining her lead here. So impressive.
I wonder if like playing in snow in the off season prepares Kristin and Silva for slippery conditions.
I'm wondering how much they actually play outside though, and how much they
in my
just
mind
train
they go outside every day and they're just like frolicking in the snow.
What they actually do and what's in your head is very different. Hole 6 is a par 4, 621 feet. OB to the right that can come into play really easily. You want to throw something maybe barely flexing or just a straight shot off the tee, and then it's down a tunnel on the second. The teeth of the hole is definitely in the drive. You see a lot of women kind of throw with a little bit too much fade at the end and end up in that creek over there, which is casual but brutal. You see a lot of pitch outs from that side. This is one that everyone in the field is absolutely thinking birdie. And the more I watch, the more I think I'm going to push out to the right side more like these ladies are doing. That's a crush to the edge of the tunnel.
Man, I could watch Silva throw backhands all day. It just looks like she's not trying.
Right?
And it just glides.
Is she trying? It's her fission photon again. Kristin with a beautiful drive as well.
Huge distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are
attacking the hole.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's almost 100 feet past kind of the most common landing zone on the heat map. Like this is icy blue on the heat map where they're landing.
Ella trying to push, but getting some early release. These branches definitely helped her.
Yeah,
that was going to careen into the woods. There's no beeline over there past the trees. It's hard to find, but that could have done it.
Yeah, definitely an early release from Ella. Just looks like it slipped out of her hand. Missy hugging the left a little bit and finding the same branch. That one was brutal. I think that shot would have been okay. I think it would have been kind of close to the woods line, but she was definitely punished.
Ella forced to settle for par at best here.
That's a good out. She didn't have a whole lot of room to work.
Missy forced to throw a straddle out sidearm. Definitely going to have to be playing for par as well here. Put some nice little pop on that shot.
Yeah, in a good spot to save the par. Definitely.
Missy's not to where their drives are yet.
I know.
It's crazy.
She's not even, look, it's like a full circle 2-putt away.
Oh my gosh.
And this isn't a gimme. It's, a simple shot, but not necessarily a super easy one. Missy making quick work of it. So professional.
Yeah, looking so professional.
Definitely a little bit of work left still on the putt. Extra professional with that bun.
Silva here with a nice standstill shot from about 240 feet.
Oh, and that looks great. Wow. Just foot fully on the gas pedal, but also yawning, Yeah,
I do. It's relaxing watching her play.
Yeah.
Ella's third. Nice little chip shot up to the green. We still aren't to Kristin's drive? Question mark?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unreal. She went orbit grace off the tee, and this is her harp. Just a bit short. Kristin, 35 feet, needs to make this to stay within one stroke of Silva. Man.
Second time, just a little bit high.
1 inch.
So close. Really nice scramble recovery from Missy Gannon.
Silva to get... Oh, another stroke on Kristin, and she misses.
Oh.
She's feeling the pressure.
Yeah, very surprising. There were only 3 birdies on hole 6 today. This is one I feel like without wind, everyone's kind of thinking about needing to at least have a putt, but our lead card not able to find a birdie today.
This round full of surprises so far.
The biggest surprise being the fact that it's not raining.
Holland, 4 down through 8. Wow, in solo 4th right now.
And gunning for a podium position. Evelina holding on to solo 3rd right now. Here is another par 3. This one is blind. It says 335. I think that plays pretty true to what it is. It kind of is more like a flat shot when you draw it up, but you do see a lot of big sweeping spike hyzer shots. You want to make sure that they spike though, because this green slopes downhill towards that OB line on the left deep side of the green, and you don't want anything to be flare skipping. Even the wet conditions, this green is still pretty quick. That elevated pin adds an extra layer of intrigue, and we have seen our fair share of multi-putts on this type of a green.
Silva hanging this out really wide, and she gets the ground play. That was a very nice angle. I didn't realize Kristin's going such a slow speed disc. That's her verdict.
I like that play.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, as a power player, she could obviously go deep. I mean, she pins it.
Oh, no.
It's still good.
Okay.
Wow. Cool play. Wow, speaking of cool plays, you seen this?
No.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
I didn't know anyone was even considering this.
Well, if anyone can do it. It's kind of nice because it fades away from the OB. It makes sense. Hey, make it make sense.
It's got to be perfect angle control, though, because there's not that much room. If you accidentally turn your disc, you'll catch some trees over there.
It's very true. But Ella, one of the few women who is adept at a pure sidearm hyzer, like the pure hyzer angle.
Missy in the red zone on the heat map, a lot of discs filtering into the edge of that tall grass with a downhill circle 2 putt. This is a very scary death putt.
And I'm wondering how much you can even step this putt without slipping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't even mess with it.
Oh, out of her hand. You can tell she loves it. Really great angle. Just a little bit more pace needed.
I bet if it was dry, she would have stepped that one. I'm serious. All right. Silva from a little bit farther than the putt that she just missed to an elevated pin with Kristin closer.
Nice.
There we go.
Good mental bounce back there.
Do you think either one of them's mad that they're matching outfits?
I feel like it's kind of a power move on everyone else. They're like, watch us fly away.
Kristin, little uphill. Cash.
2 really great birdies. It's playing as the 3rd easiest hole of the day. Still not a gimme.
Ella with the unconventional sidearm birdie. Love to see it.
Getting herself under par again for during this final round. Missy just not quite able to find a birdie quite yet.
She'll get there.
She will. She's throwing good shots. And if there's one thing Missy's good at, it's being patient.
Ella gonna overtake Missy with that one, but still behind, 1 stroke behind Evelina and Holland. Hole 8, a par 4, 677 feet. I think we've seen, 3 birdies on this so far.
2.
Only 2. Okay, so you want to throw a straight shot that hyzers or a pure hyzer. It's good to land closer to the top of the hill, I think, on the tee shot, and then stay on the top so you can then throw this right gap on your 3rd shot. It's the most open. We saw some of these ladies. I mean, Kristin got inside the circle for a putt yesterday, which is something we have
almost parked.
Never seen before.
Yeah, she was one of the 2 birdies on this hole during the weekend.
But the other was a circle 2 putt.
Yep. Most players not even barely getting to that wall of trees. So being able to hit the gap and get through the wall of trees is incredible.
Silva's been throwing this nice straight pushing shot every day, and that's absolutely perfect.
Kristin getting a little bit more aggressive here and throwing a hyzer angle, letting that disc really carry left yesterday.
And this looks nice and aggressive as well. I'm sure she knows that she can get this one, and really no one else is going to.
Ella probably a little worried about the OB line on the deep side.
Nice hyzer, though.
Yep.
Should be no problem.
One of the few competitors that can't fully unload here because she will very easily go deep. Missy with a beautiful pure hyzer line.
Going to be a wee bit on the low side, which is just fine over there, but probably a little bit worse footing than the high side. Speaking of footing.
Yep, one of the wettest spots on the course on this walk.
It's probably really funny right after they came through to watch all the spectators take turns on that little plank.
Missy with a really great second shot to a perfect placement. That's a scary shot. You're throwing right at an OB line, and she matches up perfectly to the gap. Ella doing another thing that no one else does.
I mean,
cool.
Wow, she's going left side gap on a forehand.
That's
literally
no one
does that.
Yeah, but I love the play.
I'm so glad we get to watch her today. This is blowing my mind.
If I had that, I would do that. I want to throw that left gap so bad.
It makes sense to throw that left gap because it's bigger, but no one else has that sidearm to do it. And it's a silly backhand. It doesn't make any sense.
Silva almost gets some ground play and is able to skip into putting territory.
But catches the log. That looked like it had the power to get there.
We know Kristin has the power to get through this gap. She finds it and gets tangled up on the last tree to miss. She still is putting, though, from circle 2 with a rare birdie look on hole 8.
Missy with more of a typical play from what you see from the rest of the field. Still a little bit of work here on this upshot. No problem.
Silva, not really many options here. Nice little chip up shot. This played as the 4th most difficult hole of the day today. The FPO field really figuring it out. Not as many bogeys, but still not a lot of birdies.
Ella looking for one just inside circle 2. Just a nice par.
Kristin with the final opportunity on our lead card to take a birdie. And it would be her 2nd of the weekend, which is crazy.
Yeah. And to get one back on Silva. Oh, she did it.
With a little branch kick.
Back to back on 8.
If that doesn't build momentum, whew.
Nothing can.
No, that's incredible.
Look at this. She puts a little flex on it, catches a leaf. Nothing can stop her.
There were 4 birdies this weekend on this whole total, and 2 of them were Kristin.
Cool stat.
So crazy.
Wow.
Shout out to Cat Merch for getting it today as well. She is the 4th of the weekend.
Man, and to tie it. Yeah, to tie it up with that too. Amazing.
It's intimidating to have that chasing you.
I mean, and Silva really has only let it show briefly, but she's still getting so many birdies, having a great round. Kristin's just the scariest person to chase you. I'm actually glad to see the close-up version of this because we talk about it a lot, but it's different seeing it and even more different feeling
all
it.
day. All day out here.
Every step.
Holland Hanley, 6 down now through 10, just stacking up birdies. Let's wrap up this front 9 of Championship Sunday with this par 4. It's a very fun tee shot. I like this hole in general, but it is not an easy one to get to the green. The bigger your tee shot is, the more manageable it is, but it's still not an easy shot unless you land more on the left side of the fairway. A lot of tee shots have a tendency, though, to push right and force you to either have a distant sidearm or throw a very technical, challenging backhand turnover shot to a blind green. There's a bunch of sticky trees on the left side of the green, so you do not want to error left, and that OB line all the way down the left-hand side, of course, is in your head.
Well, that looks perfect.
That's great.
And cameraman a bit farther back today, not having to turn, but I think that it was every bit as far as yesterday. Silva also had that similar distance as yesterday. Today looks a little more turned and a little bit shorter. She'll still have an opportunity to birdie, but as Madison was saying, very difficult from there.
And Silva in a much more classic landing zone for the rest of the field. Kristin really flexing how comfortable she is throwing her distance drivers right now. Even Ella putting this one just a little bit low.
Yeah, it's much earlier than you want to land. I would almost be surprised if she can get a sidearm there.
Yeah.
But it is Ella.
She can. Yeah.
She
She
can.
definitely can.
And Missy putting a nice move on this one. Yep. Solid. Man, that's so far.
She's trying.
Yeah, of course. But, like, I think she can get to circle 2, no problem. But to get closer than that is going to be...
I wonder how far she is. It's really hard to tell out in this open field.
Ooh, that's early. That's in a whole
early.
lot of trouble.
There is an OB line in there. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't think she found it, but it's going to be some tough scrambling.
Occasionally, you have to pitch out backwards from inside there. Sometimes you can't even go towards the pin.
Missy attacking. I love to see it.
Yeah, we saw her do this yesterday, and it ended up deep left. That was a much better line and so close to perfect.
2 feet from being a beautiful shot.
Yeah, she put the exact right angle on that.
Silva from a similar angle, blind to the green, needing to throw a turning shot.
Yeah, Kristin with the absolute advantage here, having the sidearm. Though Kristin has landed short the last 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wowee. That's not a word I say ever.
Okay, this course caters so much to a forehand. Silva doesn't really have a distance forehand, and this is why she's still in contention for the lead, is this shot right here that she does so well. I wish I knew what that disc that was.
Perfect angle control and trust.
It's beautiful.
It's why we watch.
I think the green one is her rhythm.
I would love to know that. It's a good guess. Man, and to put pressure on Kristin like that, it's huge.
Uh-oh.
Very high and a little early.
Really non-committed, but sneaking through to a decent spot.
She's on the edge.
She's on the edge. There is some low-hanging branches over there, but we watched Silva can a putt from that exact spot in round 2.
Very true. Man, look at what Ella's dealing with here. Whole lot of nothing. Like, which gap's she going for? It looks like the right one, or is she going for the center one?
I don't know.
She's got to go for the center one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about as much as she could do from there.
Missy still with a look, but from one of the squelchiest places on the course.
It really is. Top squelch.
There's definitely mud in her shoes.
Yeah. Ella looking for the par save here. Is she inside? Yeah.
Oh, man, those little branches really took control of the disc.
Kristin, farther than I thought, but more blocked than I thought also.
Also with a much wetter knee.
100% wetter.
Right on circle's edge.
not much you can do from there. She just didn't have the angle. Wow, Silva gonna retake the lead that she's had most of this round.
This is a little weird putt.
She's got it.
Yeah.
She's got it.
We believe.
Tree in the way, but she'll just straddle. All right, don't make me a liar.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What a round. Silva Saarinen, 5 down through the front 9. And that's with a missed fairly short putt from her.
Yep. That second shot was incredible, too.
Really
she is not slowing down.
Pedal to the metal. Ella even after a couple birdies, couple bogeys. Holland Hanley 6 down through 11 in solo third. Cadence Burge, Evelina Salonen in a tie for 4th. Ella and Missy slipping back to a tie for 6th, but it's still tight for the podium. Silva and Kristin, though, pulling away.
Yeah, we still have 9 more holes, though. We still have the potential for some rain. It's always kind of looming today. And we still have a lot of very difficult holes to play on the back 9. We're right in the middle of one of the toughest stretches of the course, though. So come hang with us on the back 9 and watch how they play hole 10 and 11. 2 holes that give everyone a little something extra.
It does. I hope they set this soggy course on fire in the back 9. Don't forget, we are nearing 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, so go ahead, click that bell, subscribe, and join us on the back 9. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.